Hi there, I'm MoOne from MoOne Drama, and this is MoOne Interviews. Today, my guests are a group of young people who have been working on a radio drama while they were in lockdown, and I'm here to ask them, how did they get this process worked out of script writing, collaborating with each other, being at a distance from one another, surviving a movement control order in Malaysia. Hey everyone, hi.
Hi. Hi.
As we know each other because we have classes together on a Saturday, and since 2020 this has been a little bit difficult. So I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves, even those that are not on camera, okay?
Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. So I'll start off. My name is Caleb.
And I'm Bengi.
I'm James. We have some people in
We have
the
some people
back.
that will prefer. There are some
Well,
people.
you don't
yeah.
have to.
There are some people that
to.
prefer not to be shown on screen. There's one.
I'm Shara.
Yeah, and the other one is.
Nakib.
Yeah. Alright. Wow. Okay.
And we also have
Yep,
Tripta.
we've also got one
Tripta,
more.
just say
That's-
hi. Hi, I'm Tripta.
Yeah.
My first question is, what inspired you to write a radio drama while you were under this lockdown period? What was the inspiration for that? Or how did you get involved in this?
I feel for me, honestly, because I haven't written in a long time, and I've always wanted to get back into writing. It's been just so long that I haven't written something, and it just kind of started hurting. So when Miss Amina, you came to us with like a suggestion to like come together, a group of you, like write something together, I jumped at an opportunity. Just anything to get me to write. And yeah,
And
here
now
we
we're-
are.
Yeah. Plus, thinking about it, with the radio play and being able to use only voices compared to using stuff with like visuals require like a physical presence with like many different people, and because of the lockdown and also because of the fact everyone's quarantined at home, you can't go out and meet people in public spaces. Having a radio play means that you can just send audio files, send SFX, send files and stuff through like Google Drive, and everyone will be able to like collaborate together
It's a
in
lot
a virtuous way.
more friendly for
Yeah.
the
Friendly.
pandemic.
Lockdown friendly, yeah.
Lockdown
Pandemic
friendly.
Diseases can't be transmitted online.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think personally, when I heard the chance that we got to write a radio play, it's because since 2019, with how wild 2020 has been, it was a good outlet because just staying at home and locked up, it's a good opportunity to do something and not get hurt in the process. So I
With
thought it was-
friends, no less.
With friends, no
Yeah.
less. That's true. So it was a good opportunity, I would say.
What were the challenges to writing it? I mean, you had to go for the right genre, you had to find the characters yourself, you had to find the sound effects that you want to put in, you had to imagine them. But what were the challenges that you had? Was it because you were far apart, or was it because of the creative process?
I feel like it was mostly the creative process because this is the first time that we're doing this.
Yeah.
So
True.
everything we're learning like from scratch,
Yeah.
basically.
I feel like 50% of the process was just like the very early parts was just research.
yeah,
Yeah.
a
That
lot
took
of
such
research
a long time.
and like seeing how other people had done their radio plays and how they work online,
Yeah.
so we could adapt into our style of working as well. Yeah.
And I think another great challenge was getting all the SFX together, because to imagine a scenario in our head that doesn't have a physical entity,
yeah.
a physical presence
Yeah.
to kind of see,
Yeah.
it requires a lot of like
It's
imaginative
a shift
boundaries.
from what we're used
Yes.
Yeah, especially because we used to do speech and drama, and all of our speech and drama was
Required
physical.
on physicality. We
Yes.
had to be
Yeah.
the person. But
Yeah.
now all
to. Our
we have to do is our
mindset had
voice.
to be focused on something else now, on
Yeah.
something that we weren't used to. So there were just all these other elements. I feel like we would still have the same amount of trouble if not for the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
It wasn't the distance that was hindering us.
It was the fact that this was new to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it was a good challenge.
It was great.
It was
It's
fun.
so fun. It's
Yeah.
so much fun.
It is
Yeah.
still fun.
All my nights were worth it. Yeah. So,
We haven't slept in a while.
Oh yeah, for sure.
man, I'm gonna sleep. Okay.
And now that you can record it, how does that feel? Because you've written something that's 45 minutes or so long, and it's a really good story. I really enjoyed reading the script, and I was imagining the characters in my head and the locations and the sound effects that you wrote. I was thinking, yeah, you guys have to record this. And we had an option to try and record it using phones and send the voice recording over to each other, but it's quite difficult. And now that you are allowed to come together for the first time since this week, like, how does it feel to be together to actually record?
It feels great. I love my friends.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god.
I love my friends. I love the fact that my friends will slam the keyboard that's in our laps. I love the fact that being physical
This is
now
like-
to record something that isn't physical allows us to do physical comedy like
Here's
this.
the
It's
great thing. Here's the great thing about writing this radio play is that it felt more like a friendship pact than like producing something.
Yeah.
Satu
And
padu.
every step of the way, we felt together. There was no, like, sure, we singled ourselves out into categories, but at the same time, everyone was still part of the process. And that felt really good. And coming together today to record showed all of that because, you know, people are about
Yeah.
we're telling each other how this line should be said and how my interpretation was like this and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's like a really collaborative project, and that's great. And like we built our little studio in here. It's like right outside the frame.
I wonder
our
whether is
studio.
it possible
Can
to
we
show
Cannot.
To
This
show
is a secret studio.
our secret studio?
Oh, we
There
have
was-
pictures. We have pictures of behind
Oh
the
right,
scenes.
right. I have
Yeah,
pictures
we have
of
pictures
like
behind
It's
the
a
scenes
secret.
of
It's a
our
secret thing
studio.
that you'll only
Yeah.
see later on when MoOne Drama posts it.
In a trip to who didn't know you, but came and joined your group. So is that difficult to work with somebody that you don't know?
Actually, it's hard to say because, like, you know, it is collaborative, but also I've never met them in person. But when I attended the calls on Discord and I was getting new, and it was just a time for me to explore something different. And I've never did a radio play because I'm into physical theater and I like to use my expressions. So I was wondering if, like, using my voice can create that same impact as using my actions. So that was quite different. And like when I saw the whole play come together the other day when we had the table read, I felt really happy to work with these new people, like that I can actually work with different other projects. So it was great, like getting to know all of you. And thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah. Wait.
It's really fantastic to be able to meet new people via a challenge, a creative challenge. And to work together is not easy. I mean, I speak from experience. It is not easy to work with people that you don't know, that are in another location that you've never met, because you don't have that benefit of being introduced physically and getting to know the other person. But I think you've done some excellent work being able to do that. And now that you're in the recording stage, have you been able to rehearse?
Yeah, like before we start recording, we'll like go through the lines and like basically just to check whether, you know, if the actors are clear on what they want to do with their characters and stuff like that. We also have like we basically just let them record how many times they want. We're not in a real studio space, so we don't have a time limit, and we don't have like a certain amount of data that we have to like record within or whatever. It's our thing. And
our process is very focused on make sure the actors know the characters first so that the clarity gets through. I think that's very important, and I'm very proud with how we've done with the recording because we make sure that the actors know what they're doing so that we know what we're getting. You know, it's very clear line.
And also it brings in the like collaborative aspect of it where we get to discuss like this is what we intended for this character, but what do you think about it? About how you want to play the character as well. Yeah.
For example, I believe you should see that in the final product, you might see a few extra little lines or extra little like SFX or VFX being added that are like ad-libbed in the studio. I would like to say studio, but I probably call it booth in the booth itself.
It's not a booth.
It's not even a booth.
This whole
No.
room is technically the studio.
Okay, it's a sneak peek for our viewers. Okay, but like when the actors are in the booth and they embody the characters that they're acting,
Well, the voices.
the
really.
voices, yeah, they kind of, when they're lost in their world, they kind of think of lines that us as writers would probably never have thought of, and some of those were so on point or like so or done so well that we decided, yeah, this is the sort of thing that we could add to the end product despite not actually being in the final draft of the script as it was.
That's really valuable information because it is like that. When you do write something, you're creating something in your imagination, you write it down, it sounds a little bit different. But when you bring it out and you put life into it, you give the characters a reality, you place them really in a space, even if it is like an imaginary space, it's still there, and new ideas will come forward. To decide like how to incorporate those ideas and whether to or not is very important, and it requires like a very mature approach to being able to work as a team. That's fantastic work. Now I'm going to ask you, what is it about? It's called Running Time. What would you describe about the characters in the story and the genre?
Okay, if I had to describe it in three words, dark, cold, noir.
It's dark, cold, noir.
Yeah. I like to say it is a modern spin of noir on the fact that it still incorporates noir themes but uses modern technology, uses
Themes, really.
Situation.
Modern, yeah.
modern situations.
Modern characters, because basically, I mean, I don't know how much we're allowed to spoil it.
Not too much spoilers.
I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. But basically, it's
Trust
just
your judgment.
okay. You're trusting my judgment. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. But basically, I mean, the modern aspect is that this is focused on a young group of people with like one or two older characters. So because we're young people, right? So this is basically writing from what we know of people, is what we know best. So of course the characters are going to be a little on the younger side, and I think that's what the modern aspect is, because it's dealing with young people troubles, and you see what kids are like or what teens are like from a teen's perspective.
And
Young
most
adult.
of the time,
Young adult.
most of the time when you see like radio plays, you usually see adults, or you usually see like big boys, big
Grizzled old men who
Yeah.
are
the
seeing
people
the
got
world.
kind
Right,
of
right.
grizzled people, you know. So we wanted to try to have something that with more young people, it's kind of like a step forward for young people to try and put their foot into the acting
Because
industry.
it's
Their
exactly what we're
stories.
doing.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we're doing too. We're stepping into the radio play world, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a lot of it is because again we know about these stories that we're telling. We won't want to tell a story that we were not familiar with, because that wouldn't do the story justice and it will make us
sure.
miserable. So this was just a story. We just wrote these characters that we knew, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
And where is it set?
Currently,
KL baby.
Yep. Represent.
the heart of
Malaysia.
KL, the beating heart of KL. That's why it's noir. It's beating.
We did. I think one of the research parts that I thought was a little difficult was incorporating Malaysia-ness into the radio play.
Which is a very westernized
Yeah.
It's a Western-
white Hollywood genre, and to take that and be like, it's ours now. We made it KL.
And to make it our culture.
Yeah.
All of us together. So
Yeah, and I hope that people who listen to the radio play will be able to feel like it's still a radio play in and of itself. It's still its own standalone thing, but you can hear splashes of Malaysian culture. Not so much that you have to be Malaysian to enjoy it, but just enough to go, yes, this is definitely in Malaysia, but you don't have to be Malaysian to enjoy it.
yeah. You want to make it
Everyone.
accessible to
Yeah.
all.
Your audience is quite global then. You've aimed it at a global audience.
Yeah.
That's in English, but I'm sure you've got like a splattering of Manglish, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm saying this for Caleb right now. One of his favorite parts to write about was the Manglish.
Don't lie, I said it.
Yes,
He had
correct.
so much fun with it. He had so much fun with it. I think
Try to spell out the way
Don't
that
lie.
it's spoken.
you count on your fingers. You won't have enough fingers to count all the Manglish terms he used.
I've got.
Well,
Taking
writing
out
the
N's,
script.
putting in G's, like that kind of thing.
I stayed up late going like I typed all of that. It was me. Yeah. It was a good time. It was very fun. I feel like anyone would be able to understand. Like if the tough part about the Manglish was trying to make sure that it fit the aesthetic. It was also correct grammatically, so that people who didn't understand Manglish could still understand what character
The
was saying.
meaning, the meaning
Yeah.
remains
Yeah.
despite everything else being like Manglish.
You wanted to make sure you could show it to your friends, show it to your family, show it to your grandparents, show it to your pets. Anyone would be able to understand it despite the Manglish.
Pets?
Anyone would be able to understand it.
What sort of age range is your audience? You said you designed the characters to be young, with just a couple of like older characters. What sort of age range do you think the audience is?
We didn't really write it
Yeah.
with a set age
Yeah.
range in
Yeah.
mind per se. We wrote it in a way that would encompass just about everyone would be able to identify with at least one of the themes that has been written in the radio play, or everyone who we've talked to at least has felt some of the aspects of the themes that we've written in the radio play. I don't think there was a specific age range that we plucked into the script.
I think, right, looking back into our script, I think the troubles that the characters go through, the hurdles that all the characters have to go through, I think it's relatable enough to all age ranges. That's why it's so difficult to answer specifically, because everyone was once like a kid, right? Everyone was once this brooding teenager and all that. So I feel like even if they have to do a little soul searching, I think everyone in every age group can look at this radio and play and think, yeah, you know, this could be it. You know, like that this could be it, and this could be happening to me or something.
Yeah.
Like, the realism is there.
I will add that it's not for children, I guess. That's the only age restriction that we have. Restriction in quotation marks.
Yeah.
Because a lot of they are teens and they are like growing up and they feel disillusioned by the world around them, and it's kind of that story of feeling alienated in their world that they're in. So I would say maybe younger children might not understand that, but you know, if you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. What about the equipment? Like, you have a challenge with, you've got devices, you've got your own personal devices. Have you got any extra equipment?
Well,
You're just using devices that you've got, like all your own personal phones, computers, laptops, whatever you've got. Is that what you're using?
Okay, I'm gonna lift up the mic after we mute.
Yeah, we're gonna lift
Wait.
it. Okay.
Mute it. Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Unmute. So that's the mic that we're using to record
Wow.
for all of us. Yeah, so this is correct. That's it.
Yeah,
We
that's
have
pretty
one
much
microphone
Basically.
and then we all we take turns in the booth.
So, and also to keep in line with the pandemic, when we're in our booth, basically we have. Can I talk about
Yeah,
that?
sure, for sure.
So basically, we have the actors will have their mask on so that the mic is safe and it's not, you know,
Getting spit on.
getting spit on. Very importantly, and also it does
It
well.
acts as a pop filter, basically. We improvise a pop filter.
Yeah, because we're too broke to have one.
Yeah.
We're college students with no, you know, we don't
have jobs.
we don't have jobs. We're doing this.
No one's hiring
Yeah,
us.
no one's also hiring.
hire
It's a
us.
pandemic.
Please.
Get this away from me! Get this away from me!
Yeah. So
Okay, so can we put the keyboard over there?
Yeah, I'm going to your other leg.
got it.
Mhm.
I feel like
That was from your own investment. You pulled together your own resources to buy that mic.
Well, it's
Yeah.
my mic, and I wanted a mic, so I was like, I guess I will spend this money, and now I get to use it.
but yeah, we get yeah.
Oh,
Thankfully for Benny's mic, we get to use it for this amazing radio play. So
Yeah.
it feels like a blessing in disguise, you know?
If we were to like speak about any more other software we use, we definitely use some freeware.
We use it's not called freeware.
Oh, it's not called
It's
freeware.
it's called like there's like a distinguished like they differentiate between what like free means. We use Audacity, which is an open source.
Open source.
Free.
Free.
Yes, I remember it. Sure.
Yeah.
It's a free software. It's accessible. I've used Audacity before for other projects as well. Like for for sound editing itself, I usually use Audacity. That's my go-to. I'm familiar with the application, and so we're using it for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we clearly had shortcomings. This isn't like a professional setting, but I feel like we did pretty good with
Yeah.
what we had, and I'm proud of the team for that.
Yeah.
The only expense we have is this room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything
basically.
else we already had.
Yeah.
you've basically rented a space just so that you could be together to record this and not have like other family members in the way because you can't use your own homes because there's other people there. I am very curious to listen to a sample. Is there any way that you could give us a soundbite of running time?
Are
Yeah.
we doing a live?
We
we're
can do
doing
a
live
reading.
We'll do a live
reading right now.
snippet. We'll do a live
Yeah.
snippet of one of our scenes. Yeah, we'll do a live snippet of one of our scenes.
Yeah.
But to engage in its bask in its present atmosphere, we'll turn off our video,
Yes.
and then we'll get our actors into the thing. We'll get them all hyped up.
Yeah, we'll wait when you're ready.
It's gonna just be a small snippet
Of a scene we have.
between two characters, and this is a very small snippet because we don't want to give no spoilers.
Yeah, we don't want to give too much away.
Yeah.
So we've carefully crafted a
A
small
no
little-
spoiler zone.
Yeah, no spoiler zone. That's
All
right.
right. Is it in the beginning, middle, or the end? Oh, not the end, right?
It's in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. All right.
No spoilers. We refuse to comment.
Off you go. Ready?
All right.
Okay.
And I'm preferring not to know.
You might in a bit.
Do you even want to do this? Or do you maybe want to stop wasting my time?
I'm here because of Desmond.
I should have killed him when I had the chance.
It appears that both of you have some history.
Well, does it now? Well, newsflash, I don't really care about where that Chastain has found himself, but he sure as hell ain't gonna drag me down with him. Come on, Nyala. Breathe.
And that's all you get.
And scene.
That's all you get.
And scene.
We're thinking of doing another scene.
Okay, yeah, do another scene, another section. That's too short. I want more. I want more. I want more. I want more.
For this scene, we'll be doing it with Tripta. This scene is another small snippet. It's a bigger snippet, I guess. A fashionable heiress is fashionably late.
So sorry I'm late. Had to stop by Cartier to get this gorgeous melon, the Cartier watch. It just caught my eye in the window, and I just had to get it.
You look exquisite. And not the only thing exquisite on her, too. Her ankle boots and fur jacket alone must cost more than my car.
Thank you. She's the most expensive piece they currently have on their catalogs.
I bet.
Oh, enough about me. What did you want to talk to me about?
Your career, Mr. Stella.
Ah,
As I'm sure you know, I work with Forbes magazine. The editors were just looking to do a piece on the top 10 young Malaysian business owners.
oh my god. What?
And, of course, they wanted to include you.
Of course.
Before we start, would you like anything off the menu?
Don't worry. I come here so often they already know what I want. Tabs on you, right?
Yeah, of course.
Good. Let's begin.
And that's it. It's all you get again. Only give you a little taste of what it feels like doing this.
Whoa, this is intriguing. I'm so curious about the characters and the dynamics between them. And I mean, it's just like sound bites not enough. I want to hear the whole story now.
It was definitely not 100% of what we have, but I think that's for the best. It's better to consume it all at once, I think.
What are you going to do about the sound effects? How are you going to make them?
To get the SFX, we specifically chose to choose sound effects that are royalty free, they're free to use, to make sure we don't like step on anyone's toes about like using anything like copyrighted. So most of the sound effects we found so far are through free sound, and some of them we're actually recording by ourselves using like Foley audio. We're going to be using voice recorders on our phones. For example, there may be some interesting sounds that you might notice that sound very original, and those sounds would most definitely be coming from our phones. We just bring it out into the wild with us and we just record. We just press play, we step on the ground or whatever, and then we just take that and we just use it inside the radio play.
Sorry.
Also, we wanted to have, sounds of Malaysia, since it is set in KL.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So it's very important to have the sound effects locally sourced.
Yes.
Wow, when I was your age and I wanted to write a radio play, and none of this technology was available. I had to use somebody's studio and BBC recordings for sound effects and specialist effects. And then we just created live sounds in front of a microphone. We couldn't take that microphone out anywhere into the open. We had to pretend it was in the open. So we had to have like a cat litter tray full of gravel with some boots and pretend that the boots were walking on gravel outside. It was so difficult. With you having all this technology, what would you recommend for anybody who wants to have a go at writing a radio play? How would they get themselves together? What would they need?
An idea.
Yeah.
An idea.
First of all, an idea. For me personally, I find it really difficult to write by myself. So for me, it would be a group of friends who would force me to write.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of love for
True,
creating and
true.
wanting to create something together or by yourself or
It's no use putting in so much work for something you won't like
or
in the
care
end.
about. Yeah.
Because it just feels like a waste. So I think it's important to do it with people you love and do what you love. It feels, I guess it's like easier said than done.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially nowadays, but if you have the opportunity to do something that you really like, go for it. For sure.
And the thing is now, like recording devices on our phones and like the cameras on phones as well, they're getting better and better with each iteration.
Take advantage of that.
Yeah, so it really it's you can do a lot with just your phone.
And with open source platforms and technology, right? You can actually utilize everything.
Definitely. Like honestly, I try my best to find like open source sites like services as well. Because who wants to pay a subscription? No one wants to pay a subscription. I have money. I don't have money. I can't pay you.
Yeah, true. And it just feels good to support, small sites or small resources.
Small communities of people who are just equally as passionate as you are. So
Yeah.
a lot of them have like forums as well that you can like go on there and ask questions, ask for opinions, like how do I get this effect or things like that. Yeah.
Also, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. That's so important.
Yeah.
If you care enough for your project and you want it to see the light of day, don't be afraid to ask for help. Because if you need help, then you need help, it's fine.
It's okay to ask for help, and you should ask for help.
No shame in it.
Yeah,
also-
nothing that's happened in our script so far has all been done by
By
one
one
singular
person.
person.
Yeah.
Everyone has always had at least 2 or more people working together to help out. They say many hands make light work, and definitely, it's make this big old chunk of project much lighter than it should.
Yeah.
Much lighter.
But also, I guess there's a balance to that because too many cooks in the kitchen like make bad cake.
yeah.
What is the
Make bad cake.
I don't know. I'm thinking
Too
spoil the
many
stew.
cooks
Spoil
spoil the
stew.
broth.
I'm thinking about cake, you guys. Okay. But yeah, so you gotta find that balance between how many people you can work with before you get overwhelmed. So
I feel like a lot of the things we're saying is overwhelming.
well,
but,
yeah.
but
But though, if you're alone and you want friends, to write with, fucking come on, guys.
I feel like we were very lucky to know each other.
Definitely, because we've known each other since like
Since
school.
high school.
yeah, since high school.
Some longer than others.
Middle
Yeah.
school.
We've known each other since we were like cabbages, man. Yeah.
So I think it's important to know who you're doing it with. I mean, if you want to do it alone, sure, more power to you. But again, it's okay to go for help and
Yeah.
to join in with others, and it's a good socialization. It's good for your socialization.
Oh yeah, this thing made me talk to other people, which is
Yeah.
great.
And what have you learned? Like, how's the learning process? Any new things, new skills that you've learned through doing this?
If there's something I've learned, is to use Microsoft Excel more often. Because everything, every word, every line, I cannot stress enough how important it is to categorize everything. Because without categorizing the lines that we use and the SFX and the VFX, everything will get lost in a sea of files of hard actor blood, sweat, and tears with the inability to categorize anything. So with Microsoft Excel, I just take the thing, I drag and drop the entire list, and then I just put the files in there, and it makes it easier to use and divide, and easier to use and divide into the finished product when we actually start editing it. Yeah.
Is that a plug for
Editing is-
Microsoft?
Editing is like a very difficult and complicated process. So it's best you stay as organized as possible from the get-go, or else
Yeah.
you'll be scrambling for a long time trying to edit everything.
It sounds like a lot of work, but
It
honestly,
is.
it's gonna be worth it in the end because your little baby deserves all that love and attention that you put into. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your little baby deserves Microsoft Office. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sponsored by it's not. Please
It's
sponsor us
not,
though.
but we do need a
Please?
sponsor.
We need money.
Okay.
Yeah, you need money. Like, what if you had money? What would you spend it on to help this project? If you had the money.
Recordings place.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that.
Exactly.
Honestly,
The largest expense that was used was to find a place that was quiet enough to record, sizable enough to house the actors and the booth, and have enough facilities available to provide for the actors and for directing as well. Because voice acting is hard, despite it looking like you speak and you earn money. There's still a lot that comes into the process of actually getting
sure.
into the booth itself, and I think with a nice grant, we could do a lot. We could do a lot.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think, maybe it's my personal opinion, I don't even think we need the grant entirely, because really the only thing that was missing in our that was hindering us, I guess, was the fact that we didn't have a studio, a proper soundproof studio space. Now we're kind of yelling, and there are people in this house as well that are just, that's the door.
Exactly.
That we have to deal with, and they have to deal with us as well, yelling and acting
we
and
still
stuff
we
like that.
spent money, but it's still not the perfect place we could get, but it was the best we could get.
Yeah, with the money
With the
that
money
we had,
we
which
had.
is almost zero.
Yeah. But I think everything else was fine.
Yeah, because like we wrote everything ourselves, research we did everything ourselves, like editing we're doing everything ourselves. We have like a whole team of basically like, you know, we know what we're learning. We're learning how to do things.
I think the vibe, the atmosphere is very different because we know each other. So we're not putting like professional expectations. It's very different. So because of that, like what we're doing and what we need is also different.
Yeah.
So when will we be able to listen to the finished product?
Before the end.
sometime next year. I don't want to
sometime next
spoil
year.
too much. I will say it'll come out
I think
next year.
I think
Early
next year, yeah.
I'll say early next year.
Early next year. Because the thing is, we're all juggling like university work and like
True.
assignments. We have all like our own like responsibilities to attend
It
to.
feels like this project has only been going on, I think, since March.
Yeah.
But it feels so much longer than that.
Yeah.
And that's because of everything else that's happening in everyone else's lives.
Yeah.
2020 has lasted a decade, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Well, at least you found something worthwhile to do with it. I just want to say you've done a really good job on getting this together. You've been at it since March, on and off, whenever you were free. Somebody was always working on some aspect of the project. And eventually it's going to be put together. You're committed to completing this. And I am ever so excited to listen to the end result. And hopefully this will be the beginning of more to come. Let's hope there's an audience for radio drama. I'm sure there is, because you have put such a lot of work into it. And thank you so much. It's been really worthwhile. Thank you for coming to do this interview. It's been really, really good. And a pleasure to see you. It's been so long since I've been able to even see you. So this has been awesome for me as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you for
Sonia.
having
Thank you
us.
for having
It's
us.
so nice to see you too. I hope the pandemic hasn't been too difficult on you.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
really missed you. We've missed
Drama
drama in
Drama.
general.
After finishing grade 8, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's a very different way to do drama, but it was something, you know?
Yeah, I get to do something related to
drama.
acting. Yeah.
I think it's a good outlet. You know, it's a good alternative outlet.
I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity. It was a great learning experience to work with all of you. And thank you, Ms. Amina, for introducing me to this group. It's been really fun. Thank you.
Tripta, first time we heard, I've told you before, first time we heard your voice, absolutely blown away. You're
Yeah.
amazing. You're absolutely amazing.
It was our
Right.
first
It's
time
our-
working with
it's
Tripta,
our
and
honor.
hopefully it won't be the last.
It's
you know?
our honor to work with you.
Yes, it's our honor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Surprise.
it will certainly not be the last. Hoping to work with all of you again. Like, it's been really fun. Thank you. Thank you.
Here's to being able to see each other properly in 2021. I'm not sure when you've got your assignments and your exams, but we'll work that out and we'll come together. We'll be a class again and work with more projects. And if there's anybody else out there, drop us a note, send us a WhatsApp, 019-223-1955. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Miss.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for this
Bye.
opportunity.
Say bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Get down, get
Say
down.
bye-bye. Get down.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
You want to say bye?
You wanna say
Okay.
bye? You wanna say bye? Okay. Bye-bye. Get out of here.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe to MoOne Drama for the choicest, tastiest, most wholesome drama around.